Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, may I have your attention, please? Are you ready to engage in a mind-blowing experience and hear talks about life, technology, entertainment, and business? The next episode of Hipther Talks starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi everyone, Zoltan here. We're back again this week. Today we have Dana Lihotina, a PR expert, brand awareness guru, or name it however you want. Today we're going to talk about something different than we usually do. We're still going to be in the fintech sphere, because that's something we also like doing here at our podcast, but we would not take so many time off this, and ask Dana to give a few words of introduction about herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Dana. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right, hi Dana. Okay, so jumping directly to the question. So Dana, can you tell us a little bit about your journey into the world of fintech and marketing, and what attracted you to this field, and maybe how you got started in your career?
Well, yeah, sure. It all started with, actually not with the fintech field. It started with the startup field. I used to work as a project manager in my own university. We did a startup passion project. It lasted for 3 years, and then we ran, basically what we did, we ran a competition between several startups throughout the year in Estonia, Latvia, and Finland. And then there were some of them quite... It was quite challenging for me as a first-year student to collaborate with these people, to connect them, to get, the organizational part. Then it all continued for me in consulting world. I worked in Civita for around 8 months. Okay. Then I quit the company, and I was restricted to working in the consultancy field in Latvia. That's why I moved in Spain, and I lived 6 months in Spain.
Okay.
It's like, if you're restricted to work anywhere in the world, then you can just go to another place.
Exactly.
Then I moved to Tenerife, and then I was writing a European proposal, helping to write a European proposal for one scientific startup, and then we ended up in having a funding of 3.3 million euros.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then I got back in Latvia to continue the studies, and then out of the sudden, a friend of mine, he knew a person who was organizing Ecom21 conference in Riga, and then he kind of offered me to help, because I like organizing stuff, but I wasn't thinking of getting a full-time job back then already. And then I joined DECTA as a part of Ecom21 organizing team, and then we understood that it works all good with both of us, and then I became an assistant of the head of marketing for the next 3 years. The heads of marketing, the person changed. To Anna's place, Julia came, and then we worked it was a good time. And then I understood, after nearly 2.5 years, I understood that I'm hitting a ceiling a bit, and I want to develop myself, because it all started to repeat at some point. As an assistant, you cannot go.
Exactly.
And then I realized that I need to change something. I took a vacation. I went to France, and then I realized that I want to live it the way I want to live it, not just to be restricted to just Riga, to go to the office. And COVID actually helped a lot. I realized that the remote work, the magic. That's the thing that I wanted to do. And then Noda, open banking company, came into my life, and it all changed 180 degrees, completely. I did love travel before Noda, but traveling in terms of like corporate travel, it's a bit different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So you mentioned Riga, and I just want to point out there's nothing wrong with Riga people. So
Yeah,
recently, the Baltics have been receiving such great light because of the hockey championship, and now
yeah,
with the NATO gathering in Vilnius. So we have been active in the Baltics since 2018, and I can say it's a very nice place. It's great to visit. It's got a great infrastructure, and business is
sure.
booming there. Business is booming there.
Yeah, especially in Estonia, I think, with the
Yeah.
start of. So like
All right.
they accept almost, not almost everyone, but you know what I mean. And then
Exactly,
they
and
really,
they do need to attract a lot of attention in terms of investors because there's a lot of potential there.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they used to know Estonia as like a country of Skype.
Yeah, exactly, Skype.
Yeah, yeah, but now it's like mostly like the startup hub.
All
Mm,
right. So yeah, you worked in both startups and also established organization throughout your career, and how has this varied? How is this experience shaped your approach to brand design and public relations? And we can refer to the fintech sector or maybe even broader.
oh, how it. I think actually when you're in a startup, you can understand that like things can happen and things can like can be postponed. That's the tricky thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and once you may have brilliant ideas, but just it's not the correct time and not the correct place. With the corporations, I mean, I haven't worked in like a giant ones. The biggest one I worked was Dacta, and it was 170 people in the end of my career there. But when I entered the company, it was like 60 people or something.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, in terms of Noda, when I entered, I was the 32nd or something like that. And then when I quit, then there were almost 70 people. So
Oh, okay.
it's not
So
that
it's
big.
double.
Yeah, it doubled. Yeah, it's actually it skyrocketed in terms of everything. Like, yeah, but it's still not the corporate. I mean, I don't. If you ask me if I see myself in a corporate world, then the question, the answer would probably be not. That I don't see
Yeah, it's
myself.
much more trickier, and most of our listeners are coming from this entrepreneurship sector, and people that have companies maybe up to 40 to 50 people, so they totally understand you. And that you mentioned that even if doubling the
Yeah,
team is a skyrocketing thing, at a small company it is.
it is. It is because just when you start accepting clients and then you realize that you have like the bottleneck in compliance in terms of not having enough labor resources to proceed with the onboarding part, then you need to get.
And you suddenly realize that you need a strong brand design when you have so much people on board, because
Yeah,
they will be sharing your company's identity, so you need to have it that must be clear.
yeah. When I entered Noda, it was Noda Pay. The first week I was there, I told to our my colleagues that maybe we should, if I'm allowed, I'm so sorry, but if I'm allowed, maybe we could change Noda Pay just to Noda, just because Noda is like a nice word.
Yeah.
And they said yes. And then actually, I'm so grateful and thankful to guys that they supported me in any ideas. Like I had carte blanche for like almost everything. We had some high budget stands. We had some. I did invent it. Like we were thinking of this. Each company has a symbol usually, and then I got with this idea of aliens, like these little guys. I drew
Yeah.
them, and then
Okay.
yeah, and I don't know. It's been so fun to work there.
All
Yeah,
right. So,
and
and you
develop it.
mentioned earlier your help in securing the 3.3 million euro funding for the startup project, and
Yeah.
could you share maybe some insights into the process, how you did it, and maybe what were some of the biggest challenges you faced?
Yeah, obviously it wasn't just me who wrote it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that there was a team. Yeah, but back in the time, I was 19 or something, and then when you enter a startup like that, which has like a certain milestones, a certain goals, and then the founder of this, Herman Noriega, it's not his first startup. He is like, back in the time he was 68, so
Okay.
yeah, you can imagine that he has like his career path already on the peak, so to say. It was great experience in terms of how many cool people you get to meet, with how many people you get to know each other. I did the research part. What we did actually, what the startup was all about. It was a paint which can be painted on any surface, and then it generates energy from the
Okay.
solar energy. So yeah, it was my first and only patent in which I'm participating right now. But yeah, it was just like you get to know. I wasn't in the scientific field at all back in the time, and it was just mind blowing how many cool stuff you can do in terms of physics, in terms of chemistry. And yeah, we got to go to the university. They showed me how it worked. They showed me how the microwaves are influencing the paint, and I was like, what? What? How is that possible? It's like there's magic in real life. So
And did you face any challenges while marketing this, or?
yeah, of course, because no one said it's gonna work on large surface.
Okay.
Yeah, no one, we had a lot of restrictions in terms of areas in which it could be implemented. I mean, obviously you can paint a house in Latvia, but just because here are not so many sunny days throughout the year, then it will not work that properly.
Okay, so basically it's also a location challenge.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, if it's raining, then it's not gonna work.
Okay.
Yeah. But if I remember correctly, then the paint. If you paint a small house like of 2 floors, like an ordinary house, it was enough to get your fridge running.
Okay, so that's
Like
still
just
something.
yeah, at least something. But I mean, it's not that big deal. But still,
Yeah.
it's a small step forward towards something. Maybe giant, maybe not. I'm
All
not
right.
sure.
So let's touch base on your fintech experience in
Yeah.
PR and marketing. So how do you see this industry evolving?
Uh, shall we talk about AI or not?
Yeah, no, because fintech has been really a buzzword in the past few
Yeah,
years, and we see a lot of fintech companies that are growing. So there
it
must
depends.
be.
Yeah, it depends on the field a lot. When we talk about, I mean, I can compare travel, e-commerce, and high risk. In terms of Noda, for example, there was like a huge part of the portfolio high risk one. So we couldn't talk much about that. We cannot, do anything with that. Showcases like it could be a perfectly tailor-made technology with a lot of hidden and not hidden features which work really properly and like on a huge like a great level, but you cannot talk about that. Regarding the travel field, after COVID, the travel field, it became like the mid-risk one instead of the low risk. So they tend to be more accurate in choosing the payments provider.
Yeah.
And they are, I mean, we've been, again, I'm speaking in terms of Noda. Yeah, we've participated in several travel conferences. We sponsored several conferences. We are the members of APTA, the travel association, which has like the members like Hilton and EasyJet and APTA. Basically, what's good about APTA is that it's a UK-based association, which like if you as a company, if you fail to get the service done from your side to the client, then Hipther pays to the client this, guaranteed cash, like not a cashback, but like refund. So it's quite prestigious to be there. But the travel industry, they are really accurate in what they choose. Like when you speak to the people, most of them know each other for 10-15 years, and then once you enter the first conference actually in which we've been throughout, like in terms of Hipther, is that we were there, and then another payment company was there, and then no one came to us the first day. No one, literal no one. There are nearly 200 something people in a small Deloitte office in the UK, and then no one came to us. And then the second, they were like taking a photo of us, but no one came to us. And then the second day, me and my colleague, we opened like Noda Hub, and then we see like there are some merchants requesting, some information, and they're like, travel, and then they like match the list of participants with this list of or merchants, and then they're like, why didn't you just come to us and then ask the questions? That's so weird. I mean, this is really weird, especially in comparison to the high risk conference where everyone I'm sorry, but everyone drinks and everyone chills, and then everyone just like is casually talking, and then like even if you have nothing to do with another person's business, you can just talk and then figure out how you can help each other at some point.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why we like high risk industries.
Yeah. High risk people, they're open. Like even, I mean, I'm a PR person. If I come to anyone, I don't know, and then I say, hi, I'm Dana, I like to do PR and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, okay, I'll keep you in mind. Like I'm just a casino owner, but I'll keep you in mind. I'm like, okay. And then they really do go back to you like
exactly
afterwards. And then you start and the field itself, it's quite small, so you just see like the same faces throughout the conferences, so
but it's a fun industry to be in. It's ever evolving. The people are so open, like you said. So you mentioned Noda, and this drives me to my next question about a project, the Noda London fashion brand project under Noda. How did this idea come to you, and how does it align with the fintech world?
It doesn't align with the fintech world.
It doesn't align. All right.
As I mentioned previously, like I had a carte blanche to like all of my ideas. And then I was highly supported there. And then suddenly, me personally, Dana, I like the fashion. I'm keen on fashion. I like to attend the Riga Fashion. Every time there is a Riga Fashion Week, then I attend the shows. I was even in the Milan shows twice. So I was, marmalized, is that the word?
Yeah.
By holograms. Like there was a show like in the old cinema in the center of Milan, and they had the real models with the holograms mixed. So it was quite cool experience. And then we were thinking just of the PR kind of like the PR idea, how to scream that we are here, but without doing anything, just to like, PR news. And then we came up with it actually started that we needed to have some, merchandise for our people. And then I started to think that, ordinary just to write Noda here is like kind of like boring.
Yeah.
It could be Noda, it could be Dacta, it could be anything. And then why not to do it as a brand, like Noda London? Noda London sounds as a brand. They had Balmain Paris, Yeah. So, and that's how the Noda London idea came. And then we were actually thinking of giving these things to our partners, to our clients, and then also to sell it and be the first fintech company which I mean, I'm into fashion, and I'm into fashion in Riga, and then I know a lot of people from that field here. So it wouldn't be really hard to get into the Riga Fashion Week as a designer. So yeah, that was the idea. That Noda becomes the first fintech company who steps into the like Riga Fashion Week as a brand, because why not?
All right. So you are also a women tech ambassador at the Women Tech Network, as I remember from your bio, and what are the unique challenges you are facing and maybe opportunities that you are maybe providing for women in most probably fintech, right?
Yeah, it's about fintech. There's also like the Women in Open Banking thing by American
Yeah.
Express and the Open Banking Expo. Basically, it's how to say that, it's not about feminism. I mean, it is about feminism, but it's not about that like in harsh sense. It's not
Okay.
about fighting for our rights against men rights. It's about having equality. But for me personally, it's more about networking.
Okay.
In terms that you can, like with the Women in Open Banking, we have a WhatsApp chat, and then it's so easy, literally like so easy. If you don't understand anything, you can just drop a message there, and then someone will explain it to you. There could be like there are some C-levels, there are some just like ordinary specialists. It doesn't matter. You'll just get your answer as fast as possible, because like
Oh, that's good.
yeah, and especially like women, we do like to chat. so, so yeah, it's just one more platform to network for me,
All right.
because I mean, me personally, I worked like in two quite like large fintech firms, and then I didn't face inequality in that sense, like the gender inequality, because like in Dacta there are almost half of the board members there are women, and then in Noda like we have women as well. So
Yeah, so basically either way in Eastern Europe and in the Baltics there's no such problem.
yeah, I mean
I mean,
try to keep it. I mean, if you're a
exactly.
good specialist, then you're a good specialist. It doesn't matter
Exactly. Yeah,
which
yeah.
gender you are. So
Exactly. So yeah, you also recently attended a side event called Women with Wings: The Power of Female Angel Investors and VCs. It's a
there
side
was
event
nothing
by TechGill. What were your takeaways from this event?
Oh, I wouldn't say that it was quite recently, it was in April. That's
Yeah,
why.
it's still recently.
Yeah, but what they talked about there was that some days, some time ago, women were not perceived as a good investors. Like they could have money, but if they just stepped into the field of startups and then tried to offer the money, then the startups are actually quite biased, and they're like, oh, if like you're a woman and you have money, then it must be your husband's money. And then if you offer like our some to spend, then you don't know how to monitor that. You
Yeah.
will not be able to be a great investor, as you're like, it's your husband's money, you did nothing with that. And then the whole idea, like, it was a small talk for 40 minutes, discussing the examples and showing the figures that currently there are like a lot of women investors who actually succeeded, and they continue to succeed, and they open their venture capitals, any funds, they just do what they have to do. Again, it's nothing about the gender. Like, it's just
Exactly.
if you're smart and you're smart, it doesn't matter. So
All
the
right.
same with
So
language. Yeah, if you speak any language, you can be smart in any language. It doesn't matter.
you can be smart in your own language in your head, but you need to translate it.
Yeah.
That's the hard part, because I speak Hungarian, Romanian, English, a bit of German, and yeah, I might be smart in Hungarian in my head, but maybe I don't sound that smart in English. So.
Yeah, same with me. I speak Latvian, Russian, English, and a bit of German, and I used to learn a bit of Italian. So,
yeah, it's hard when you need to translate in your head.
Yeah. And then
how do you envision the role of women in shaping the future of fintech and open banking? This leaving the feminist thing aside, just like having different visions on the perspectives.
As my practice shows that women are more creative to any task. Like it could be even in budgeting, you can be creative in budgeting, but sometimes men are more rational. It's just how our brain works. Like some men are more rational. And then I actually had a case when one of our sales department managers, he said like, oh, we don't have to go to this or that conference, wherever. And I was like, can you think once again, just because it's a good opportunity to, to do the stand there. Like we have to enter the field of travel it was. And then the next conference of that kind is going to be like in half a year or even more. So can you just reconsider? So yeah, maybe women are bringing more emotional part to the fintech, I would say.
All right, and there's a lot of fintech leaders, women fintech leaders in the Baltic area, especially at the associations, which most of the presidents of the associations are women. We had the pleasure of having multiple representatives at our conference in Riga. So, lastly, for aspiring women professionals looking to make a mark in the fintech sector, what advice would you give them based on your experience and journey into this industry?
It's better to do and regret. Like it's it's common sense, but still it's better to do than regret. Do and regret than not doing and regretting. So that works in any sphere of life.
All right. So any last questions to say goodbye to our listeners?
Just enjoy what you're doing. Like I enjoy what I do, and I caught myself that like this. You usually work in time frames from 9 to 5 and blah blah blah. But once you like what you do, it's not a problem to wake up early and then to finish like in 11. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but that's how it usually works. So just love what you do.
All right. So thank you so much for your time, Dana, and we look forward to catching up with you at some of the conferences. And until then, just keep cool, everyone. Make sure to subscribe and be here every week to be notified about our new episodes, and take good care.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining. Be sure to check back next week for the next Hipther Talks and subscribe on Amazon Music, Overcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Mixcloud, and Pandora.